Greenard to the Philadelphia Eagles for a third-round pick tonight and a third-round pick next year. The Eagles already have reached agreement with Jonathan Greenard on a 4-year, $100 million deal. The Vikings save cap space, get 2 third-round picks back in return, and the Eagles make another move to bolster their defense as they continue wheeling and dealing.
Howie Roseman just continuing to play chess here so far. What do you think of it, Booger?
I love it. And when you think about it, remember last year they lost Milton Williams and Montez Sweat. They've been trying to figure out a way to get some pass rush. So this is a way to make up for the pass rush that they lost a couple years ago. Howie Roseman does it again because he got instant pass rush in Jonathan Greenard.
Yeah, Jonathan Greenard can play now.
Yep.
He can go. He can come off the edge. You know, and losing Jalen Phillips was a big deal. That was someone that they didn't want to lose. Greenard kind of brings that same kind of high motor profile, a lot of athleticism off the edge. They've always built their team this way. Pass rush first over everything. It's a nice addition.
Jaguars pick is in. Here we go.
With the 56th pick in the 2026 NFL Draft, the Jacksonville Jaguars select Nate Borkacher, tight end, Texas A&M.
Well, there you go, Mel. We were just talking about it. When will these tight ends go off the board? And here comes another one, the second, and this is the last.
He's traditional. He's old school. He's in line. Block. This kid can get it done as a blocker. Matched his career reception total from the previous 4 seasons. Talk about what he did against Nebraska. 19 catches, 10.4-yard average, and 3 touchdowns against Florida. 3 catches for 35 yards. South Carolina had a solid game. He was an all-state basketball player in high school. The effective blocks he makes on the move. Plays good hands. He's an aggressive kid. Quickly finds spots in the defense. They lined him up in a variety of spots in this Texas A&M offense. As an inline blocker, they're rare to find now. Will Kasperek at Ohio State. This kid can get the job done as a blocker. Made some really good catches, some clutch catches in this Texas A&M offense.
Yeah, he'll compete. He'll compete when they line him up at a traditional Y. Lacks some speed in the passing game, with dependable hands. The traditional Y.
All right, it's 2 tight ends select.
Momentum right away in their favor. It's Miami in the national championship game. He had 3 half breakups in that game. This kid had a 43.5 vertical jump. Your point, guys, if it wasn't for the size, kid played like a first rounder.
No question about it. There's absolutely. And you know, here's the thing. This young man played 660 plus snaps at corner and only played 6 snaps in the slot. So they never had any reservations about putting him outside on the Autobahn in the fast lane. They may move him inside here at New York. Regardless, he's going to play, and he'll play a lot.
One of the most infamous statistics in the NFL last year, of course, the New York Jets had 0 interceptions. So obviously this was an area of significant need. Pons had 2 picks last year, by the way, including a pick 6 in that playoff game against Oregon. All right, the Vikings are up and their pick is in. Caleb Banks was their selection in round 1 last night. And this is a pick that has changed hands a few times, but at pick number 1, or 51, I should say, the Vikings making their selection.
Go Vikes. With the 51st pick in the 2026 NFL Draft, the Minnesota Vikings select Jake Golday, linebacker, Cincinnati. Welcome, brother.
You love these stories. Jake Golday was unranked coming out of high school. Started his career at Central Arkansas as a defensive end. Wound up first team All Big 12 last year.
What did Jack Campbell have when Detroit Lions drafted him out of Iowa? He had the length, he had the size, he had the height. Inside linebackers, off-ball linebackers can be really disruptive when they're like Jake Golday, who's 6'4.5", 239 pounds at a 39 vertical. He will affect the passing game in that way. Cover the athleticism, all 3 phases. It's a run in coverage, it's a blitzer. He gets after it as well. He can slip, he can shed blocks. He was a really good player. Look about this past year, 105 tackles for the Bearcats, 6 tackles for loss, 3.5 sacks, and broke up 3 passes. Kid was all over the field. And they moved him around in that defense, Bud.
And here's the thing I'll say about him. He's best coming forward. He needs to be coming down toward the line of scrimmage. He doesn't need to be back in space. You don't need him back in coverage. You don't need him trying to figure out what routes are running. You need him attacking the ball. As long as they can have him do that, he'll make a ton of plays for him.
Yeah, that's where you maybe have some concerns about him. Is on 3rd down, what is his value going to be as a coverage player? And can he learn to rush the passer if he can't cover?
The Vikings gave up 124 yards rush today And here's a familiar face and voice to make the announcement.
Wow.
Look out, everybody. Here comes McAfee.
They said yins are getting soft, yins are getting tired. Are you yinzers getting exhausted from so much football celebration or no? 0 arrests last night in the NFL draft compound. Pittsburgh Yinzers, congratulations. Now, the Indianapolis Colts first-round draft pick was Sauce Gardner, and he's better than all of your first-round picks for sure. The Indianapolis Colts have not won the AFC South in 12 years. That changes this year. Jim Irsay from the football heavens cured Daniel Jones's torn Achilles. Michael Pittman got sent to the Steelers, and in return, we got football gods. With the 53rd pick in the 2026 NFL Draft, the AFC South Kings, Indianapolis Colts select C.J. Allen, linebacker from Georgia. Go Dogs. Have a great night. Cheers.
C.J. Allen, a consensus All-American, still young, just turned 21 last month, but he started 30 games over 3 years and led the Bulldogs in tackles last year.
28 on my big board. One of the top off-ball linebackers in this draft. They'll be playing every down. He can do it. 6'1", 230, ran 4.47 at his pro day. Look at that guy who led the Bulldogs in tackles with 88. Also had 8 tackles for loss. He's been there since day one. He's a veteran. This is the collegiate wars. He's going to come in, he's going to play the run aggressively. He's going to be a guy who can jump on the ball and go sideline to sideline, quick as shit and avoid. I know Lord Struck might be a little stiff. The bottom line is he's developed into a really good blitzer. Has 1 sack his first 2 seasons. He had 3.5 sacks this past year. Sound tackler, leaves a lasting impression when he hits you. You know C.J. Allen's on the field. And a character, 1 to 10, 15 for C.J. Allen.
Here's the thing I would say about C.J. Allen. Very few rookies come in and can be the green dot and call the defense. He's been a guy in Kirby Smart's defense from day one. He's understood. He's been a leader of that defense. He's a coach on the field. He could call the defense from day one, and I get it. There's a little bit of tightness in the hip, but he's an instinctive player. What he lacks in the athletic ability, he can make up with smarts and instinct. He did it for Kirby Smart at the highest level in the SEC, and I think he can do it for the Indianapolis Colts.
But there's no question. Look, Indianapolis needed some speed and playmaking ability for Lou Anarumo and his defense. They were devoid of bodies, quite honestly, at the linebacker position. They need an athletic profile, a guy who can make plays on all 3 downs.
The Eagles are next. They took Mekhi Lemon in round 1. Let's see what they have in store for us in round 2.
With the 54th pick of the 2026 NFL Draft, the 2-time champions and reigning NFC East champions, Philadelphia Eagles select Eli Stowers, tight end from Vanderbilt University.
Let's go back!
He wondered when the second tight end would go. Eli Stowers was a quarterback in high school in Denton, Texas. He had 62 catches last year for Vandy, and he won the Mackey Award as the nation's top tight end.
That's the thing when you watch Eli Stowers, you got to have a football IQ as that former quarterback. And a guy that you take a little weight off and make him a receiver. He's got to obviously improve as a blocker, but you see the run after the catch ability for Eli Stowers. He was outstanding football player at Vanderbilt. He's the kind of guy you talked about, the move tight end, Lou, that H-back type, who could actually, you could put him outside wide as a big receiver. He caught the ball. He did a lot of that damage after the catch. You're going to talk about blocking. We know that's got to get better. But as far as a pass receiving option, Eli Stowers had few peers at the collegiate level.
What you see right there on the highlight tape, working in the middle of the field between the numbers, that's what he really excelled at Vandy. Really good against zone coverage, real good hands, silky smooth. Just needs to get, they used him in various different ways down there. They used him on the line, off the line. put him out at the slot. Doesn't have the same kind of speed as Sadiq, but he will be a chain mover